doing a 1,500 point game between Greg's Grey Knights and me playing Joe's Necrons. We're going to be doing the Schemes of War from the June White Dwarf. So it switches up how you do the Maelstrom of War missions. So now you construct a deck from 18 tactical objective cards of your choice, and then you draw 5 of them, and you can mulligan them if you want. And then you put 3 into play at the start of each of your turn, and then you draw back up to 5 cards. So like you get a lot more control over your objectives. So we could, you could build a deck that you don't care about any of the objective markers on the field, and you're just trying to kill your opponent. So it seems like a way cooler system, and we're going to try it out today by first taking a look at Greg's Grey Knight army.
Today I'm just running 1 battalion detachment. We'll start over on the left with my HQ choices. I've got a Librarian who's got Gate of Infinity and Vortex of Doom for his psychic powers, and he also took a Stormbolter. Then behind him I have Brother Captain Stern, and he has Gate of Infinity for his psychic power. And then I have just a regular Brother Captain with a Halberd, and he's going to be my Warlord. And he has First to the Fray, which lets units within 6 inches of him reroll their charge in the charge phase. And he has the Relic, which is the Fury of Deimos, which is the souped up Stormbolter. And he took Hammerhand for his psychic power. Then I have, for troops choices, I have 3 squads of Grey Knight Strike Force. The one on the left has a Psy Cannon and then just regular gear. They've got Gate of Infinity. The one in the middle has Sanctuary for their psychic power. They have Halberds, and the Sergeant has the Nemesis Warding Stave. And then the squad on the right is Vanilla with Gate of Infinity and a Psy Cannon also. Then I have a squad of Terminators. It's a mixture of swords and halberds. I have 1 Psy Cannon in there, and they have Gate of Infinity for their psychic power. Then I have 2 Venerable Dreadnoughts with the twin las cannons, and they both have Astral Aim. And then for my fast attack choice, I have a squad of Interceptors with Purge Soul for their psychic power, and I've got 1 Silencer in there, and a Hammer on the Sergeant, and then it's all Halberds for the other close combat. And the middle squad over there, my troop choice, I forgot to mention, they also have a Silencer instead of a Psy Cannon in there.
Facing off against them will be the Necrons. I'm running a battalion and an Outrider detachment, so I'll have 9 command points, although I'm going to spend 1 of them on Dynastic Heirlooms. So starting off with my Warlord, I have a Catacomb Command Barge with a Tesla Cannon. I'm replacing his War Scythe with the... I'm running a Novik Dynasty, and I'm replacing his War Scythe with the Blood Scythe, which gives him an extra D3 attacks, and the Warlord trait Crimson Haze, which has 6s explode in melee within 6 inches of him. And then I have a Lord with a War Scythe, and I'm giving him the Veil of Darkness for my extra relic. And those are the 2 HQs for that detachment. For my troops for that detachment, I have 2 10-man squads of Necron Warriors. I know 4 of them look like Grots, but those are Necron Warriors. And then in the back, I have a 9-man squad of Tesla Immortals. For some close combat, I have 6 Lich God with War Scythes. And then for a little bit of mobility, and just to bring something heavy, I have the Monolith. For my Outrider detachment, I have a Cryptic with a Staff of Light and a Chromatron for the 5-up invuln within 3 inches, and then 3 9-man squads of Scarabs. Just wrapped up the deployment, but recapping what happened is we alternated putting down objectives. I put down objective 6, 1, and 4, and then Greg put down 2, 5, and 4?
3.
Over there. And then Greg got to choose deployment zones, so I ended up here and deployed my army first.
With Vanguard Strike.
Yes, with Vanguard Strike. So I just have my Scarabs scattered around to grab certain objectives. I got my Tesla Immortals, Lich God, Cryptic, and Lord and Overlord all clustered up for auras and whatnot. And a lot of my army is up in the sky, or I guess on the home world, waiting for the Tomb World. Home world, Tomb World. Waiting for the monolith to bring them in, which is going to deep strike in.
I deployed as much in cover as I could. I have my interceptors and 2 strike squads up behind those crates. Then I have a venerable dreadnought and a strike squad back behind. In the teleportarium, I have my librarian, my warlord brother captain, my 8-man squad of terminators, and then I paid a command point to put 1 venerable dreadnought in reserve also. So hopefully that'll work out with being able to pay a command point to have him get the reroll 1s. For terrain, basically the insides of these buildings, we're just going to count as area terrain for +1 cover. So like ruins, essentially.
Yeah, and then everything else is just going to be line of sight blocking. And, if you're behind the pipe, you're in cover. So then we just have the initiative, which I think... Who would have?
I think you have it. You finished that.
Yeah, I finished deploying first. Okay. So do you wish to try to seize, Greg?
I will not.
Okay. So I will have first turn. And at the beginning of the battle, at the start of the first battle round, we both draw our tactical objectives. So since this is the first time we're doing it, and this is the new stuff, we'll show it. So you take the first 5 cards. So and these are like secret from your opponent. So those are the ones I have. So I'll be able to choose 3 of these to put into play to try to achieve. But if I don't like these, I can get rid of them all and draw 4 different ones.
5, I thought, right?
No, it's 4. You get punished for doing the second one. But I think these are pretty good, so I will take all of these. And then at the start of my turn, I put 3 of them into play, and 1 of them can be face down. So Greg won't know which one I'm going for. So I'll put this one face down. And
okay. I took the 5 cards off the top of my deck. Here they are. So now I choose 3 of these and put them...
You don't choose until the start of your turn.
Okay. So I just
you just keep those. There is... for Grey Knights, like each model of yours is a Psyker, right?
Yes.
So killing 1 model would be killing a Psyker.
Yes.
Not
Well,
that,
I don't know if it's a model or the unit.
Wait, it just says at least 1 Psyker was destroyed.
Okay.
And then say 1
because the
Psyker
unit is a Psyker.
But
it's with Brotherhood of...
but additionally, every model is a Psyker. So I'm not too sure. I'm fine with it either way.
That's fine.
All right, so every model of yours is a Psyker then. So I drew my 5 tactical objective cards based on the Schemes of War. So I have these 5. I chose to keep them instead of drawing 4 different ones. I'm going to keep these in my hand, and then I think I draw 3 more, but I don't use those yet. And I'm going with these 3. So these are the ones I can actually achieve right now, and I'm gonna hide this one from Greg's sight. So he doesn't. You can hide up to 1. So I can achieve all 3 of those. So I have defend objective 6 and kill a Psyker.
Wow, shocking.
I know. It's crazy that I'd put that in my deck against you. So with Greg's forces entirely hidden from me, I'm going to just be advancing everybody up. So I advanced my Tesla Immortals up using Wave of Command, but I only rolled a 1, so they did not advance very far. My Lich God advanced as well, but also rolled poorly, so nobody's getting very far. Unlike those units, the Cryptic got a really good advance, but he can't go out in front of everybody. And then my Lord and my Catacomb Command Bodge both moved up as well. My Scarabs are going to just move and secure Objective 6 for me. My Scarabs advanced and got a 6, so they actually managed to secure Objective 4. My last group of Scarabs advanced and are just staying in cover. With Greg mostly off the board or completely hidden from sight, I have nothing to shoot at. So the entirety of my turn is just moving. So I'm trying to defend Objective 6. And I secured Objective 4.
For the objective cards that I pulled, I'm going to keep for turn 1 Psychic Communion, which is casting psychic powers behind enemy lines, which I think I can get. And then 1 I can keep Secret from Danny, which I can't get this turn, but I believe I will still keep it out there because I think it's better than these other 2 that I have for right now. Movement phase begins. I'm going to start the game by shunting my interceptors. The interceptors have shunted into position over here on the scarabs. Hopefully, when Danny removes models, he'll want to at least keep some closest to the objective, which will still give me assault capabilities. Brother Captain Stern is going to move behind the crates. The other 2 strike squads are maintaining position out of line of sight. These 2 units are also going to maintain position out of line of sight. And now I'm going to cast psychic powers. This strike squad is going to attempt to cast Gate of Infinity. Using a command point, they successfully move their unit over here. The Venerable Dreadnought is going to attempt to cast Astral Aim. He successfully does cast it. The Interceptor squad attempted to cast Purge Soul. Successfully casted it, but during the roll-off, we tied and inflicted no damage. Shooting phase. The Venerable Dreadnought is shooting its las cannon at the scarabs. The Stormbolter is out of range. It killed 1 base. The Strike Squad and Interceptor Squad, both firing into the scarabs, managed to inflict 24 wounds, which was 8 of the 9 bases.
So I'm left with just 1 on objective 6.
All of my firing complete. All I have left to do is attempt to charge that scarab. Would you like to overwatch me with your scarab?
I would, but I can't. So go ahead. This is the Interceptors?
Yeah. The Interceptors, using a command point, successfully charged the scarab in an attempt to secure first strike. The Interceptors successfully smashed that last scarab, securing me a victory point for first strike.
Yep, and it's also denying me defending objective 6. And did you accomplish any objectives?
Now that it's the end of the turn, I successfully cast how many? 1 here.
2, 3.
So I should have cast other stuff, but I didn't. But I don't know if you can cast stuff if you can't actually do it either.
Yeah, it depends on the... I mean, stuff like Sanctuary you could have cast.
Yeah, so that'll be just... I did at least 3, so that'll be 1. I get 1 victory point for Psychic Communion, and 1 victory point for behind enemy lines, but I don't get the extra victory points for maximizing them.
So Greg came in strong, and I mean, it was bad for me to show I had that objective. I could have hidden that objective, but I think Greg would have known I was trying to defend number 6. So this is my new one I'm doing. And this time, I'm putting it face down, so maybe you won't know. But I'm just keeping the other 2. So you just... I potentially should have discarded this one at the end of... well, no, I didn't know Greg was coming in. But you discard at the end of your morale phase. One of your active ones, if you want. So this turn, I'm going to try taking it back from him. So I'm going to start off by casting, or using Wave of Command onto my Immortals. And then I'm going to move the Command Bodge over here. My Scarabs have moved over to assist the Catacomb Command Bodge, and they're currently within 3 inches of the objective. My Tesla Immortals are going to take their place and secure Objective 4, just so they're in range of most of the board. And they have their additional BS, so hopefully I'll get a lot of extra shots from them. I'm worried about the rest of Greg's forces, because he's still got a lot of stuff in Deep Strike, so I'm going to start turning more of my attention to this side of the board. I'm going to move my Lich God, my Overlord, my Lord, and my Cryptic this way, in case Greg brings in reinforcements. And along the same lines, I'm bringing the Scarabs over here to just reinforce this flank. The movement phase. My monolith is coming down. Top of objective 2. So in trying to reclaim objective 6, I'm going to open fire with my Tesla Immortals onto Greg's Grey Knight Interceptors. The Immortals rolled really well, hitting on 2s, exploding on 5s. I got 8 extra, and I was able to entirely wipe out the squad of Interceptors with just them. That went way better than I expected, so I don't need to assault them or anything. So my Catacomb Command Barge will just turn his attention to the Strike Squad and fire his Tesla Cannon at them.
Go ahead.
And was able to take out a single Grey Knight. The Monolith is the last bit of my shooting, and I'm going to shoot all the Gaussflux Ox at this squad of Grey Knights, and then I'm going to shoot my Particle Whip at this squad of Grey Knights. The Monolith rolled really well, and I was able to entirely wipe out this squad of Grey Knights, and this squad is left with just a single survivor. So really good shooting from the Monolith, and it's doing a decent job securing the backfield. I figured it wasn't worth shooting the Dreadnought at all, because I'm not going to destroy it. But so taking out the little guys I think is really useful. And that is the entirety of my turn. There's nothing...
I have leadership over here.
Yeah. There's no assaults or anything I can do, and because Greg's guys died too quickly.
Is it it's 2d6?
No, it's a d6. 1d6 plus casualties. So you're
7, I'm good.
Yeah. So I'm attempting to defend Objective 6 again, and I secured Witch Hunter because I killed an enemy Psyker. I'm not going to discard either of these. Greg's got his reinforcements, which are the majority of his army still. So, I don't have my warriors out yet, but... And Greg is still ahead of me on victory points right now, so... If he does well in his turn again, I might be too far behind.
For my objectives, I have Rites of Exorcism. Danny picked number 4, which is the one that his Tesla unit is holding in the middle. And then I have Assassinate. I chose to try to get Danny's character, who is now out in the open.
My Warlord on the Catacomb Command Barge.
And then I still have the same secret one from last turn, which I can divulge now because it doesn't matter, which is for my Warlord to cast a Psychic Power. And because he can only cast 1, I won't be able to get the D3, which is fine.
We get an extra one for your Warlord completing it, though, right? For
Yes.
the priority.
Yes.
So, 2 command points for that. It's not
Yes.
too bad.
And so hopefully he'll be able to pull off a Psychic Power. Onto the movement phase. This strike squad here is just going to move in a better position to fire at the Warlord. Or Scarabs if I can't get in the proper arc. The Terminators, Characters, and Dreadnought all decided to deep strike over there to have shots at the Necron Warlord. For the Psychic Power phase, I cast everything over here. I failed my Vortex of Doom. The Terminators failed their Smite, and I was able to inflict 3 mortal wounds onto the Necron Warlord. And then in the far corner, I was able to inflict 1 mortal wound on the Monolith from the single Psy-Cannon Grey Knight.
But the important thing was your Warlord successfully got his smite off, right?
That's correct, which gives me the 1 point, which will give me 2 points at the end of the turn. Gate of Infinity went off on the 4-man squad, killing 3 of them, but I was able to move the Psy-Cannon into a better position to be able to shoot at the Necron Warlord. So onto the shooting phase. I'm going to start shooting at the Necron Warlord. Stratagem-wise, I'm going to use Cybolt ammunition to give an AP to my bolters, and an extra strength, which won't do much against him. And then I'm also using 1 more command point for Wisdom of the Ancients to let me reroll hits of 1 for friendly Grey Knight units within 6 inches of the Dreadnought. Everything, with the exception of the Dreadnought, fired at the Necron Warlord. We were able to kill him barely.
But then, when he died, I used Resurrection Protocols for one command point So at the end of the phase, he may come back on 4+ with 1 wound. So Greg will have to assault him if he actually wants to kill him.
Venerable Dreadnought fired Stormbolter at the Scarabs, inflicting 2 wounds. And the Monolith made its save, so no damage on it from him. This Venerable Dreadnought is going to fire everything onto the Monolith. Venerable Dreadnought did 11 wounds with las cannons to the Monolith, but failed to do any extra damage with the Stormbolter. This Psi Cannon failed to hit or failed to wound the Monolith, so Brother Captain Stern shoot a Stormbolter at the Monolith. As beastly as Brother Stern is, he was able to use his Stormbolter and inflict 1 more wound, bringing the Monolith down a threshold. That's all my shooting, so
Let's see if the commander comes back, or the Warlord. He does.
all right.
So it's as close as possible to where he died, so he doesn't move.
All right. Now the Terminators will attempt to assault him.
He will shoot you.
A successful charge for the Grey Knights. The Terminators needed to use a command point to make it in, but they were accompanied by the Venerable Dread. It didn't take much. The Terminators were able to take him out with the Halberds, and he won't be coming back this time. It's not worth consolidating because I'm blocking the objective with the Dreadnought. I'm going to get 2 victory points for Master of the Warp and priority orders received. I'm going to get a victory point for Assassinate, and I'm not going to get Rites of the Exorcism, and I'm going to... I discard that now?
Yeah, if you're discarding one, you discard it now.
Okay.
So I did not defend Objective 6 because of Greg's Dreadnought, but I did defend Objective 2. So there will be 2 victory points, and then I'm going to use 1 command point for one of the Schemes of War stratagems. So I look at the top 3 cards of my objective deck, and I can choose to put them at the top or the bottom in any order I wish.
I was able to get 1 victory point from Assassinate, and a total of 3 victory points from the priority orders received in Master of the War.
So at the end of Greg's turn, I use 1 command point for Tactical Foresight to look at the top 3 cards of my deck, and then I can choose to put them at the top or the bottom in any order I wish. So I'm going to put this one at the bottom because I don't think that's going to happen, and then I'm going to put these 2 at the top. But I won't be drawing those. I might draw them this turn, but I can't put them into play this turn.
At the end of my turn, I forgot to take morale, and I took it on the 1 Psi Cannon model, and he failed. So that squad is gone.
I'm going to be using a lot of stratagems on my turn. Not necessarily all of these. But I'm going to start out by using Damage Control Override.
Well, objective.
So I have my 2 new objectives. And given how many units are available for me to attack, I went with these 2 from my hand. And then I drew the 2 I know about. So I'm going to be using a decent amount of stratagems this turn. I'm starting off with Damage Control Override to make my monolith use its top row for 1 command point. And then the rest of the stratagems don't come out yet, but I have like Self-Destruct from the Scarabs to do some mortal wounds. I can fight again if I need to. But the initial thing is I'm just going to swarm these Grey Knights. I've successfully wrapped around the Terminators and the Dreadnought with my 2 squads of Scarabs. And then my Lich God moved up with the Lord and the Cryptic, keeping them both within the aura. And I should pretty much have a guaranteed charge here. So the Tesla Immortals will probably shoot the Dread to not potentially save Greg from my charge. On the other side of the table, before my monolith moves, my warriors are going to disembark, and then they're going to move. That wraps up my movement phase, and going straight into shooting. First, I've got the monolith. I'm going to shoot the particle whip and 2 gauze flare flux arrays. Oh, I forgot what the name. At him, and then 2 of the arrays at this Grey Knight to see if I kill him. I rerolled really well, so I wiped out this one. Well, it wasn't really well to wipe out him, but it was really good to wipe out the Dreadnought with the Particle Whip and the 2 arrays.
At the cost of just a command point.
Yeah, to hit on 3s again. Right next to the Monolith, I'm going to shoot my warriors at stern. So they're going to get 15 shots, because half of them aren't in rapid fire range. Fired the warriors at stern, and they didn't do nearly as well as the Monolith, and I did nothing to him. I've only got my Cryptic and my Tesla Immortals left, and I'm going to fire both of them at the Dreadnought. The combined firepower of my Tesla Immortals and my Cryptic only did a single wound to the Dreadnought. So I've already wiped out 2 units, which is pretty good, but now I only have close combat left. So I am going to assault the Terminators with my Scarabs, so they can soak up the Overwatch. Greg managed to kill 2 bases of Scarabs as I charged in, but I got a 4, so I did make it. And then my other unit of Scarabs is going to go into the Dreadnought. Via Overwatch, Greg was able to finish off the injured base of Scarabs, but I still made it in. Without suffering any Overwatch, the Lich Guard were easily able to assault. My Lord was able to follow the Lich Guard in, and I'm ready to just attack them. Since Greg has no command points, I'm just going to activate them in whatever order I want. So I'm going to activate the Lich Guard first and use 1 command point on Disruption Fields to make them Strength 6, which +2 from the War Scythe will have them wounding on 2s. And then I'm rerolling Fail to Hit because of my Dynasty. So, yeah, hitting on 3s rerolling, and then wounding on 2s rerolling Failed, and 2 damage. So it should be pretty easy to take out the Grey Knights. It was really easy to take out the Grey Knights, and the Lich God single-handedly slaughtered all of the Terminators. And then I'm going to pile the Lich God in towards the Dread. I'm going to activate the Scarabs next against the Dreadnought. Despite some poor rolling, I did manage to do 3 more wounds. So that leaves him with how many?
4 left.
And then these guys, I'll just leave where they are. So you get to attack back. So it seems like piling in the Lich God were a mistake, because Greg killed a whole bunch of them. Maybe they'll come back with reanimation protocols, though. And for the end of turn stuff, I have Blood and Guts, destroy an enemy unit in the fight phase. I only destroyed 1, so I just get 1 command point for that. Victory point. And then I also have No Prisoners, which is to just destroy an enemy unit. If between 3 and 5 enemy units were destroyed, score D3 victory points. So I get 2. And I'm trying to defend Objective 6 for the 3rd time. And, I have Leadership on the Lich God.
You only lost 4. You can't fail.
Okay.
Too big to fail. Yeah, that will wrap up my turn.
The objectives that I have for this turn are Advance, Kingslayer, which I'll definitely get, and my secret objective is this. It's time for the movement phase.
You've got a lot of models to move.
I have very few models left on the table. Stern's going to move. I'm going to run into this as much as I can. Now on to the epic psychic phase. So the big one here is for me to try to Gate of Infinity out with Stern so I can get that one objective. Since I couldn't make it over the crates, and if I advance to make it over the crates, I can't assault if I Gate of Infinity. The Psychic Might of the Grey Knights over here, I inflicted 1 mortal wound from Smite. And then the Librarian inflicted 1 mortal wound from Smite. And 3 mortal wounds from Vortex of Doom.
But it didn't hit any other units.
No,
so.
no other units,
So-
sadly.
5 wounds on the Scarabs.
An epic shooting phase from the Grey Knights. Stern did nothing to the Immortals. And then I took out 2 bases.
3.
3 bases with the Relic and the Stormbolter from the Librarian. Assault time. Wow, you're gonna shoot up Stern, but I'm still going to attempt to assault the Immortals because it's the end of the game.
Let's get all the 6s. He's gonna get electrified.
Half of the Grey Knight force failed its charges, and then the Librarian made it into the Scarabs, which is super, super good.
More than half, 2/3.
Yeah, 2/3.
Well, 2/3 of the available.
Oh, yeah.
Half of the total.
Half of the total. Librarian charged in viciously with his warding stave and annihilated one base and put a wound onto another base. Dread's gonna go on a Lich Guard. Right? I mean, that's the move. The Dreadnought was able to annihilate the 2 remaining Lich Guard, which is very good for the Grey Knights.
I spent a command point on self-destruction to blow up a base of Scarabs, but I only did a single mortal wound, and the attacks from the other Scarabs only did 1 more. So he has
2 left.
Even with their reroll, because they were charged, the Scarabs did nothing to the Librarian.
It's too strong and powerful with his Terminator armor on.
And then objectives. So I did defend objective 6 finally, with 2 consecutive turns. So I get 2 victory points.
I get advance, so that's a victory point for me, and a D3 for Kingslayer. 1.
That's potentially game losing.
It's potentially something.
So I played out 3 new objectives. So I knew I had this one coming up, I think. So I can pretty easily achieve this. But then hopefully I get this. And then this is kind of guaranteed, I feel like. But maybe not. Greg doesn't have many models on the board anymore. But I'm going to do what I can to kill him. I mean, it is like points-wise, like half his army. So like that's not to be underestimated. My Tesla Immortals are moving back. Cryptic is moving forward. As is my Lord. My last squad of Necron warriors are going to disembark from the monolith and advance out. And then my other squad of Necron warriors is going to move over towards Stern. And the monolith is going to wobble its way over a little bit. And it's back up to 10 wounds now. So next turn, it'll be in its top threshold again. Oh, yeah. So all the shooting I have is my Cryptic, my Tesla Immortals, and my squad of Necron warriors. And all 3 of them are just going to fire at Stern because they can't fire at anybody else. Their combined might was not enough to take Stern out, although they did reduce him down to 2 wounds. The monolith was out of range, so I've just got assault stuff to do. So my Lord is going to go into the Librarian. I'll just do the Cryptic now. So close combat. I will activate my Lord first. My Lord is attacking the Librarian first with his War Scythe, and I ended up inflicting 2 damage onto him. And my Cryptic is going to go next. The Cryptic almost dealt another wound, but Greg managed to save it. And then I'm going to, with my Scarabs, use a command point to activate self-destruction to blow up another base. Unfortunately, I rolled a 1 for the stratagem, and I used my last command point to re-roll that, and then I was able to kill the Dreadnought. Can it explode?
It can explode on 6. It does not.
So he is out of the game. Unfortunately, I didn't kill the Librarian, so he'll get to go first. Before my Scarabs, at least.
I attacked the Lord and inflicted 1 wound with my staff upon him.
The Scarabs attacked back and didn't do anything to the Librarian, unfortunately. And that will wrap up this turn. So I only destroyed the Dreadnought, and I injured a couple characters, but Greg is still on the board. So I did not kill any characters in close combat. I did completely destroy a unit, though. So that is 1 command point, or 1 victory point. And then I control 3 objectives, so I get a D3 victory points. 1. It's only fair since that's what Greg got. So there will be 2 more.
But that ties up the game.
It's rather bleak for the Grey Knights. I didn't pull very good objectives. I have kill a unit in the shooting phase and then just kill units in general. And I still have the same secret objective that I've had. Going to start off by falling back with Librarian. I'm going to move the Brother Captain up. And then I'm going to move Stern. After the Psychic Power phase, I put 2 wounds on the Cryptic. Vortex of Doom didn't go off. And then I removed a base of Scarabs with the Brother Captain. Shooting time now. After the shooting phase for the Grey Knights, everything went into the Scarabs, and I was able to remove them, which will give me a victory point. The Librarian fell back, so I just have Brother Captain Stern and my other Brother Captain to assault in. Both Brother Captains ended up making it into close combat without taking any wounds from Overwatch, which was very good. Both Brother Captains came in, and Stern was able to kill the Cryptic, but the regular Brother Captain Warlord was not able to kill the Lord.
The Lord tried killing the Stern, but Stern's Iron Halo was too powerful, and he did nothing.
Which gives me 1 victory point for no prisoners, and 1 victory point for overwhelming firepower. Putting me up 2 victory points. Heading into what? This will be turn 5 next?
Yep.
Alright, I don't think it looks good for...
So Greg is still ahead of me in victory points. So I'm going to try securing a couple more with Kingslayer. And then he can't stop me from secure objective 6. So I'm going to fall back with my Lord. And the rest of my army is going to move forward to get their guns in range of Greg's trio of HQs. And then finally, my Monolith is going to advance because it is out of range of all its guns. And my Scarabs are standing still to control that objective. I may have said. My Tesla Immortals move forward despite being in range so that they're within 3 inches of the Lord's aura for rerolling 1s to wound. And I'm just going to start shooting at Greg's HQs, aiming for the Warlord. So all the Tesla Immortals onto the Warlord. Unfortunately, they only inflicted a single wound. And then my squad of Necron Warriors are going to follow up and try doing some more damage to him. And they also only did a single wound to him. And then my last bit of shooting is my 6 Necron Warriors onto Stern, which did nothing. So, pretty terrible shooting from me. If the game goes on, I have my Monolith in range now. So, hopefully I can do something with that. But I've got no close combat, so I just secure Objective 6 for 1 more victory point.
I ended up pulling 2 good objectives this turn for me. Kill enemy units in close combat and kill characters. The hidden objective I won't be able to secure this turn. Onto the movement phase. Both Brother Captains are going to move in range of the Lord, but outside of 3. So like 3 1/4 away. So it'll still be a 3-inch charge. After the Vortex of Doom, the Librarian was able to kill the Lord and 2 Immortals, but he suffered a wound from Perils of the Warp. Then all of the Smites were able to kill or put 1 wound on a Scarab and kill some Immortals. The Brother Captain Stern and the Librarian failed the charges, but the Brother Captain made it in on the Scarabs. Brother Captain came in and did, 2 bases of damage?
Yep.
And now he gets to be attacked back.
The Scarab struck back, doing 2 damage to the Brother Captain.
Hopefully it won't affect me too much because this game will end, but it was too greedy of me to Vortex of Doom the Lord and kill him, so I couldn't kill him in close combat to get that. But I do get a D3 for killing an enemy character during the turn. 3, which
yeah.
is good for me. And then I don't know who rolls to see if the game ends.
I don't think it matters.
It does matter because if it goes on,
No, it doesn't matter who rolls it.
Oh, all right.
So I will do it. So 1 or 2, it ends. Continues.
All right, which is bad for me.
Yeah, thankfully. It's been a really long time since we've had
A game reached the actual conclusion.
It always ends up going to a concede.
I know.
So things are continuing, but Greg's got a lot of victory points. I'm going to continue with the plan from last turn. Now I also have these 2 objectives. So hopefully that can get me the win. 1 Tesla Immortal returned from Reanimation Protocols, which was my first Reanimation Protocols roll of the game. And the plan is just to... I mean, Greg's only got the 2 characters still, but I got the Monolith in range now, so just shoot him up. All of my infantry are moving up to get in range of Greg's characters. My Scarabs are falling back. And then my Monolith is just going to scoot back a little bit to be in Greg's deployment zone for Line Breaker, but still be in range of Stern and the Brother Captain. So killing the Brother Captain is the most important, but I don't think I want to shoot every one of my guns with the Monolith at once. So he has 2 left, so I'll start off with the Tesla Immortals and then work my way over. They only managed to do a single wound to the Brother Captain, which is about what I expected. So I'm going to fire my Monolith, shooting my Gauze Fluxox at the Brother Captain and my Particle Whip at Stern. I annihilated the Brother Captain with the Gauze Flux, but unfortunately I did nothing to Stern with the Particle Whip. So I've got 2 more units to shoot, so I will just double tap him with these warriors. The warriors did a lot of damage to Stern, and they would have killed him if it wasn't for him using the Strands of Fate and surviving with a single wound left. So I get a single reroll of my own now. And I have 1 squad of warriors left to shoot at him, which will all get a single shot. The second time he couldn't use the Strands of Fate, and I managed to kill Stern. So Greg's just got his Librarian left, but I have no shooting left to hit him with. So it's the end of the turn, and I got Kingslayer, which is a D3 victory points. 2.
Plus the Warlord point itself.
Yeah, so 3 more victory points. And then Assassinate, score 1 victory point if at least 1 enemy character was destroyed. If 3 or more, get a D3. So I only killed 2, so that's just another 1 point. And then I have Defend Objective 4.
I don't have many options left to do. I rolled the dice, and I have to go for Objective 3 if I want that. So I'm going to move my Librarian, and I'm going to try to kill some Scarabs. All right, I smited the Scarabs and shot them with my Stormbolters, removing 1 base. And then I charged and got an 11 to make it successfully in. The Librarian was only able to remove 1 base of Scarabs, so they're just locked in combat.
And then they did nothing back at Greg when they got to go.
So now Dan will roll and see if the game ends or not.
Before that, I have Defend Objective 4, so I get 2 more victory points. And let's see if it ends. 1, 2, 3, it's over. And it's over.
So the Necrons win with more models left alive.
So
you got 18?
Yeah. So Necron victory by just 1 point. It's been a really long time since we had a game that didn't end on like a concede on like turn 4 or 5. And then I also didn't make a reanimation protocol roll till turn 5, I think. But there's also one of our highest victory point games ever as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a neat mission.
Yeah, the I don't know what it's called. Schemes of War, I think. I like this method of doing the cards a lot better than the Maelstrom of War stuff. It's pretty cool making your own deck, and then there's a lot of control over your objectives. And it does let you make an army that's just like for killing the enemy, and you don't care about objectives. But it was pretty cool. I'm the like a lot of your stuff died pretty early, but like you were still like in the lead for a lot of the game. Like even with like 3 models, you were still really close to winning, or even with just 1 model left on the table. Like if you had killed those scarabs, it would have been a tie.
I know. If you wouldn't have moved those immortals back, I would have gotten another objective. But you moved them back within the middle.
Oh, you had yeah. I didn't even know about that one. I'm glad I did it though.